Welcome back to Owl Dragon Adventures. I'm Scott Kegler.
And I'm Rob McPherson.
And this is our review of Wandering Towers. So this is Wandering Towers by Capstone Games. It is designed by Wolfgang, Kramer, and Michael Kiesling. I believe that's how I'm supposed to be saying both of those. If not, let me know. But this is a game where you are playing different students, wizarding students at a wizarding world, but not that wizarding world, where you are all part, I think it's like Raven's Tower is the main wizard's tower, and you are trying to complete this race to get all of your potions and get all of your team of wizards back to the tower before the end of the game. And that's high level what the theme of the game is.
Gotta be honest, we've played this game like 4 or 5 times now, and I didn't realize we were wizarding students, so learn something new every day.
I think so. Maybe I added that flavor text to my to make. I think it's their students. So it's Ravenskeep.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of vague. I don't know if it's students. No, I think I just added that myself. But...
all right. Well, we're adding some backstory.
So we really dive into the role play with this one. But that's essentially the game. Is you're these wizards trying to get your team back to Ravenskeep, which is this tower right here, in the game. But the mechanics are very fun and on the sillier side.
Yeah, so the mechanics of the game is it's a hand management game, although that's kind of stretching the definition of hand management. You have 3 cards in your hand at any given time, and on your turn you can play 2 of them. On the cards, you're going to be able to either use the left side, which is move towers, rather, not just your towers, or on the right side, you'll be able to move one of your wizards. If you move a tower that's got wizards on it, the wizards go along for the ride, and then if you move your wizards, they just move, obviously. And you play the 2 cards, and your goal, as Scott said, is to get every single one of your wizards into Ravenskeep. Now, where the trickiness comes in is that if I were to, say, move a tower 1 space, and I go like this, well, I've just effectively trapped 2 wizards, and those wizards cannot move.
But you need to do that also because that's how you fill up potion bottles. You're going to have these little potion bottles that you will flip over, so they're empty. You flip over every time you cover up some wizards on the board. You make some wizard juice there. You're squishing some fresh squeezed wizard there.
So it's a mix of strategy between getting your wizards to Ravenskeep as quickly as possible, which it has to be an exact count to get you in there.
Yeah.
And also messing with the other wizards on the table so that they don't get there, and also squishing wizards so that you can make your potions. That's a sentence I just said.
You can also spend the potions you do have to cast. There's going to be every game. There's a different group of tiles, these spells. You put out 2 tiles each game, and these 2 spells are something that you can do on your turn as a bonus action. So normally you're taking 2 move actions.
Right.
They can both, a combination of either yourself, as Rob pointed out, or the towers. But you can also, as a bonus action, spend potions to cast a spell. And they're going to do different things like move the towers in different ways, move wizards in different ways, search sometimes towers, because you normally cannot look to see if your wizard is under some of these towers.
Doesn't seem that hard now, but this will happen. Especially if you play with me, because I take this as a side objective, is to stack as many towers as I can.
And it becomes that bit of a shell game with the wizards, because you're trying to pay attention, and there's a lot of hilarity, because if there's any crosstalk at the table, you look away for a second, and you're like...
I know what you're talking about. We never have crosstalk at our table.
And you lose the wizards.
Yeah.
So you're still trying to find all your wizards, get them there, and have the most completed potions as well. Right. So that's the tiebreaker. If everyone makes it back to the tower in the same round when you're ending the game, you count up who has the most filled potions in their play area, and that player wins.
Right. So that's the mechanics of the game. It really is. It's a very simple hand management race game. It's so very clever in the way that things move around that it kind of exceeds the either of those rule sets, I'd say, or the most mechanics.
Yeah, it's just a really fun. I mean, it's literally a racetrack. It's but it is a really fun little, pretty light, slightly take thatty in that you're like covering up each other's wizards, but no one's really getting
kicked out of the game or
and nothing feels
like
mean in the game in the gameplay.
No. So because even like if I was almost about to drop my last wizard in here and Scott covered him up and I had to do some things in order to get my wizard uncovered, it's just funny. It's not. It's a slight hindrance. Nothing seems cruel.
Yeah. So I was like, I I was interested in the game. I heard about it. Funny thing is, we never talked about it.
Yeah.
And then I ended up grabbing a copy for us to check out and review. And you had said, like, I was thinking about grabbing it too. Yep. We had so much fun with it. It kind of exceeded my expectations on gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's as you would say, it punches above its weight class.
Yeah. And it's if you like kind of in the vein of like a Camel Up, it's got that kind of hilarious energy to it. Some strategy, but most of it is like
it's the kind of strategy that you have to think of on the fly, because if you plan too far in advance, it's not going to be. Your
turn won't matter. Yeah. So much happens between your turns.
Yeah.
So that I'm definitely high on gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So next would be for us to talk about accessibility. The game is incredibly accessible. We basically taught you the whole game.
Right.
From there, it's just, and you really, again, you can't even strategize until your turn. So it's like there's no point in sweating it.
Right.
Until it gets to you. The biggest thing I could say is learning how to not have crosstalk, or this is not a game you can walk away to go grab a drink for yourself real quick for the table.
A couple of our players got up, went to the bathroom, came back. They're like, "Oh,
I have no idea where my wizards are." Or there's just that one missing wizard and you can't find it.
Yep.
And then you just have to play a guessing game of like.
Or like that first game we played.
Oh, I thought I won and I didn't.
Yeah. I was like, I won, and Scott counted up his potion. I'm like, no, I won. And then as we were putting the game away, Sean lifted up a tower. and was like, Scott, you got a wizard there.
Yeah, I totally miscounted my wizards. So another big problem in the game. But the accessibility is easy. I would say really nice, simple rule book for this light game.
Yep.
Well laid out. You got your components, which is number one.
Yep.
In our book. Our number one.
It's number one in their book. Yeah.
And number one in their book.
Yeah.
So that's huge for us. So easy to play, even the little fun expansion. I guess there's 2 more expansions out that I don't have at the moment. If I see them, I might grab them. They just add more spells.
Gotcha.
Some more variety there.
Cool.
Design. From a art style, I think it's all very cute. I love the design of the stackable towers. It's a lot of fun. And I also love things like, since you cannot ever stack on top of Ravenskeep, you can't block it. They also just don't work. You can't physically do it.
Right.
So things like that, very well thought out. I like the little racetrack.
The little custom cut meeples for the wizards. Mm-hmm. I think that everything just works thematically. Even your cards, they're spell books that you're looking at. So in terms of the movement, and it's just the different pages of them. I love the sketch style on it.
Right.
No, I think it all ties together really well.
Yeah, I like all that. It's. These little cute little towers are fun. They were not that hard to put together.
Right. I was proud of you. I came over and all of the towers were assembled. Usually you throw that at me.
Yeah. These cards are fantastic.
Yeah.
These linen.
Yeah, and in an
cards.
era where we're starting to see card quality decline, this was
these
nice.
are excellent.
Yep.
Quality.
These cards are excellent.
Cards are excellent. Everything's good for. I think it's retail like $45.
Yeah.
And I think it's a pretty solid game for you to get. There's a lot of meeples here. This is, I guess, the one thing I'll ding it on. They only give you so many meeples per faction color, and you have to play certain faction colors dependent on player count.
Right.
Larger games, you have less wizards because there's just so much activity happening.
So you have more color options.
You have more color options. I really feel like I would have liked to, some people are like, I always play red or that. So if you're playing a 2-player, you have to play blue and yellow.
Right.
Because they're the only ones that have enough meeples for that. So that slightly bothers me because I would rather have. I guess you could go out and buy custom meeples for the game if you really wanted to, but that was the only thing that.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd, but I get it. It was keeping costs down when you're talking about bulk and everything. But
sure. But it's a minor thing that and just because I don't know how the longevity of it, I would have preferred a regular board. Sometimes these joints can start to go on games like this. Right. So I know what they're going for. I get the aesthetic, but I would have been fine with a board as well. Mm-hmm. But everything seems to be quality components. No major complaints there from me.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think the quality is really good. Mm-hmm. Solid cardboard pieces. Very pleased with it.
Mm-hmm. And finally, value. So $45 retail for the game. I picked it up at a game store, and it has been, I guess, hard to find.
Yeah.
It's been selling well since I think it was released at Gen Con.
I think so, yeah. Or at least they had a big push at Gen Con, because that's where we first heard about it.
So far we've played it probably like 3 or 4 times now. And I could see this one being one that will stay on my shelf for a very long time. It's fun. It's light. I can get non-heavy gamers to play it. I can get heavy gamers to play it because it's still silly enough.
Yeah, we don't usually have a lot of crossover in our game collections anymore, but this is one that I'm going to be picking up when I see it again because it's a ton of fun. Audiences across the spectrum are going to love it, whether you're hardcore gamers and this is your warm-up, or that's just they like light games and nothing else.
Right.
It's really, really well done.
You can set it up fast, and you're going to be able to table it, and a game only takes about 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I think they put on the box 30 minutes.
Yeah, they put 30, and that's probably at the full 6 players, which we have not played 6 players.
I think we played 4, maybe 5.
I think we played 4.
Maybe we played 5.
We might have done 5.
So it's very solid on the value. I think you'll get that value out of there. I could see you playing this over and over again, and depending on your group, in one night you could probably play 3 or 4 before the game gets
agreed,
tired. But
we played it back to back the first night.
Yeah.
So
for myself, I'm coming in for me on this game at 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this game. If anybody wanted to play it, I wouldn't say no. And I think it's going to be one that sticks around for me for quite a while.
Yeah. I think that I'm actually going to be at an 8.5 out of 10 on this one. I really enjoyed this one. The theme really hit for me. It's really simple and light, but there is in the moment strategy. As we said, you can't do really long-term strategy, but you can like count it up in a few different ways, and you get the spells to account for. I really like it. I think it's a solid game, and I'm not usually one swayed by racing games. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's one of these ones that's an awesome gateway game into the hobby, too. Like, someone that doesn't play it a lot. And they're like, oh, these are really fun. They're thinking like board games when they're first getting into it, like, oh, everything's heavy. It's like, no, these can just be like a simply fun, good time where you're all laughing as you're stomping on each other's and hiding wizards.
Yeah,
but awesome. So that is our review of Wandering Towers. If you have any questions about the game, go ahead and leave a comment, or comments in general about the review. Please go ahead and leave those. We'd also appreciate it if you like this video and like to see more, that you go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. With that, we wish you good luck with all of your future board game adventures.
And thank you for joining us on ours.